Have you ever wondered, being on this spiritual journey as a light being has caused you to wonder why? Why is it that I'm learning unconditional love on the deepest levels, but I attract bullshit? Stay hydrated, my friends. Stay hydrated. Because you have some thirsty ass motherfuckers out there for your light, because they like to stay in the darkness. Beautiful beings, today I want to share with you, if you are on the spiritual journey, you're doing the inner work, you're evolving, you're growing, you're learning how to develop deeper sense of love that is so divine, and you're wanting to receive that in this physical realm, but for some reason you keep coming across what most people call karmic connections. And you may be wondering, why am I a light being having difficulties with love? And here's the thing. Today I'm going to share with you today. There's a reason for that. And you may not understand that the reason is because you are a reflector. And well, what does a reflector mean as a light being, and why is it that I'm attracting particular people? It's not because you are attracting what you are, it's because you're attracting what others need. Beautiful beings, welcome back, AwakenOnes, on another episode on Embracing Essential Series with your homegirl, Brittany Fontanez. If you're new to this channel, so glad to have you here. If you've been on this journey with me so far, only love. So glad that we're building a community that is going to assist the collective to awaken. Now, who am I? I am an energetic activator here to assist you to awaken things you have yet to see with emotional awareness, to discover your sovereignty and what you're meant to be doing here on this planet. But other than that, if you want to know any of my business inquiries, I do tarot readings, Reiki healing, even therapy sessions, past life regression, dream interpretations, and I do have a healing course that will assist you to dive deeper into becoming whole and complete, to be able to find your dharma, which is your purpose on this planet, and my merch. So all that information is down in the description box below. But if you enjoy content just like this that does assist you on your journey, I happily and kindly ask you to hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to caress that notification button, because YouTube has a tendency not to notify motherfuckers. But other than that, beautiful beings, I want to dive into why light beings have troubles with love. Now, something's telling me to dive into this first before we dive into all the rest of what I want to share with you today, and how you are a reflector. Now, I know when people are on this spiritual journey, they come across what a twin flame journey is. Now, I am on a twin flame journey. I'll be honest. Do your research, because a lot of people get distorted with the perspective of what twin flame is. But it was really difficult for me, to the point I recognized it was a purpose for my journey. And this twin flame journey is all about growth. Yes, it is possible, and you will find your divine partner. And most people don't go through a twin flame journey. It's very complex. That's why a lot of people don't understand it. But when people who are light beings are starting to awaken from doing the inner work, from doing the shadow work, from really reflecting within themselves, they will come across a divine union. Now, please understand, you guys, soulmates could be in friendships, pets, business partners, family. But a twin flame journey is one where you learn to grow. Some do stay together, some don't. And the reason why I feel like I have to talk about this is because it's very important to understand that we do seek a very divine connection, to the point that you desire someone to seek the inner divine within each other, to bring such a powerhouse of a transformation and a love that the world has never seen before. And guess what? You do deserve that. Your soul knows you deserve that, and you will receive that in this lifetime. But do not get caught up in the labels, because with me, my twin flame journey was so rough, because I did I went through the dark night of the soul on the deepest level I've ever experienced in my life, to the point my body was trembling, to the point it wasn't that I couldn't stop thinking about this person. It was more of the fact that I had to go through clearing of energetic resistance, and that caused me to have to understand, what am I holding on to? Codependency, karmic residual energy, unfamiliar patterns that are familiar within my bloodline, and that cause a lot of anxiety, that cause a lot of attachment, that cause a lot of worthlessness. And I recognize that labeling someone as a twin flame causes you to put all your eggs in one basket. And not only that, if I'm going to be honest, it's a really traumatic way to be very codependent on thinking this one person is your divine partner. Now I'm here to share something with you. You will always find a divine partner. Everyone you meet is a divine guide to you. But that one love that is meant for you, please understand that's not your other half. If you're saying you are one half and you need another half, you're not fully whole and complete. Because this divine unionship you desire requires you to feel whole and complete within thyself in order to bring the wholeness of another with you, to bring that powerhouse of unconditional love and pure transformation to the point you guys can make massive shifts within the world, not just within each other's lives. But I brought this up because I don't want you guys to get so caught up in that to the point you deny other love, because you may not have that strong spark as a twin flame, but you still deserve love, and someone else is willing to give you that love. But keep your hearts open and don't label someone as a soulmate or a twin flame, because it keeps you stagnant and not recognizing other deeper levels of love or capabilities of being loved by someone who is actually going to be willing to be by your side. So please understand that. But let's get into why light beings have troubles, hard times, in love. And what I mean by we are reflectors. You may come across people where it's like in the beginning it's all good. In the beginning they're telling you things that you want to hear. And then all of a sudden when you're starting to want to evolve beyond the relationship, beyond where you guys are, it's like they take a step back. They get wishy-washy. They get cold. They're not willing to give you what you want. False promises. It's like you're taking on their energy and have to alchemize it yourself while they're not doing the work. And I know a lot of us get frustrated and discouraged. It feels like we're parenting a child that doesn't want to be an adult within an adult body. I get it. Trust me, boo. I get it. And please understand, the biggest lessons I've been able to learn in order to now understand what it takes to be in a divine connection or allow someone to be worthy of your energy is that wait 3 months, hold 3 months off from sex. Because within 3 months, that's when you get out the honeymoon phase and you have the capability to see the red flags, to be aware, to really listen to the person. Because when you really listen to people, they tell you about themselves. Even if you ask, they're not going to be honest. But really, really listen. Watch their actions. Watch how they treat people. Watch their friends. Watch their family. Watch how they treat you. And you will clearly know what their intentions are. Now, please understand, when we come across people like this, they do this stuff unconsciously. And most of the time, they wish they couldn't. They wish they knew how to stop. But it's their own programming that they're not willing to see. And the reason why you're a reflector is because you reflect to that person the parts of themselves that they do not want to work on. This is why you may have a tendency of attracting people who are workaholics, who are alcoholics, who abuse substances, who don't make you an option and make their friends or partying or work more of a priority. And it's because you give them a sense of a high and an ego boost. And they stay stuck in that to the point that they stay in superficiality. And then when they wish for a real one, and when they get a real one, they ain't ready for it. And I know that's very discouraging. But the reason I want to share this with you is because I don't want you to get discouraged when you come across people like this. Listen, I'm a Capricorn. And my planet Saturn, Zaddy Saturn, is the ruler of karma. So I know on my journey, my biggest karmic lessons are relationships. Of course, every area of my life, but relationships are the ones where I really learn my insecurities, my imperfections, what I truly need to shift. And I used to be that person, very codependent, very anxious, attached, very insecure, very jealous, very spiteful, very aggressive. And it's gotten to the point where it's now I'm okay with the outcome of what relationships turn out to be, and stop being so forceful, stop trying so hard, stop trying to make someone see me. Because at the end of the day, when you can come to a place of not taking on that person's bullshit, you start to recognize the way they act is not because of you, it's because of them. You become a reflector of what people need to change. Now, I'm not saying you need to stay in that form of spiritual abuse. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that you have to tolerate someone's behavior. I'm not saying that you have to keep giving, and see if they're going to give back. Because when you keep giving, what you're emphasizing to the universe is that I'm expecting that in return. And therefore, you're putting on a responsibility to someone that may not be capable of giving your soul what you need, but giving your ego what it needs, or for themselves. Now, the reason why light beings have a tough time in love is because, yes, you are a reflector, but also, please understand the reason. This is going to be some real shit, you guys. There's always real vulnerability and authenticity on this channel. Please understand that. So I am a trigger to people, but I adore and honor this ability that I have, because I can see my bullshit, and this is why I can see others' bullshit. Is that the reason why you attract people like this is because not only you're a reflector to them, but they're a reflector to you. Sometimes we keep attracting these particular people because, let's be real, we're still a little bit of addicted to toxicity. And that's where we need to keep diving deeper into our healing process. You guys, I've healed so much. I've been a cheater, been cheated on, been manipulated. I said this a lot before on my channel. But the reason why I share this with you is because I've learned so much to the point that I'm not saying I don't care. I'm detached from the outcome of where this relationship will go. But I know deep within that I will always receive better, even if it doesn't work out, even if they hurt me, because I know it's not because of me, 1111, as I say that. It's because this person's not ready for the level that I'm ready at. And here's the thing, you guys. We can meet ourselves at a deep, deep level, deep as the ocean, but not a lot of people have done that. That's why they can't meet you at your level. So stop lowering your standards and lowering your boundaries to meet that person. And sometimes when you're ready as a light being to evolve in a relationship and that person's not willing to do the inner work, you start to see their true intentions, where they lie subconsciously. And sometimes they'll start putting you down, judging you, hurting you, feeling misunderstood, but manipulating you into thinking that you're the wrong one. You know, I get it. But I share all this with you is because I don't want you to get discouraged. I want you to grow anticipation, because when you start being aware of these patterns, don't say what most people say. Well, this always happens to me. I just want to give up. A heartbreak. Look at a heart. Look at the shape of a heart when it's broken. Well, instead of looking at the cracks, look at what could be beyond the heart. And the heart is the powerful thing within the body. That's why it's the first thing ever created in the womb. When you look beyond the cracking of a heartbreak, there's a breakthrough. To the point it leads you to heart repair, to get prepared for the relationship that's really meant for you. Because the more you start becoming aware of the patterns, you should get excited rather than discouraged. Because now you're starting to see, oh, I have more tools in my toolbox to know what to do better and get prepared for the person that's really going to give me what I want, because I know what I truly need. And sometimes you're a reflector because you start to reveal to people that they don't know who they are. And there's a lot of lost souls in this world looking for people to just boost their ego because they don't know how to do the inner work on their inner child. Who seek attention, who purposely make you jealous, who flirt with people in front of you because they just don't know how to be vulnerable. But when you become aware of these patterns and you learn to set your boundaries and you start to be aware of really engulfing yourself with the love that you freely give to this person, to yourself, then you start recognizing that your intuition is going to get really loud until you take a step back and focus on you and do that inner healing, to the point the more that you release, the more that you start recognizing that it's not how you could serve them, it's how, does this person serve me and my higher self? And when you start realizing that, the more you should get excited that, I have more tools in my toolbox to know what I can prepare myself for, what I want coming next. So I share all this with you guys is because you should really be so proud as a light being that you have the capability to love so deeply and to be so vulnerable and emotionally open that you do the inner work, because the universe sees that. But the universe wants you to learn now and get rid of that karma, clear it out, alchemize it into wisdom to prepare you for the unionship you really fucking deserve. And what that person deserves too. But the more that you can become aware of these patterns, because there's layers to this bitch, you guys. The more you recognize these patterns within karmic relationships, the more you recognize the patterns of what you need to shift within you to portray a different characteristics, different behaviors, different ways of thinking, different ways of speaking, different ways of acting, different ways of feeling, so you don't get attached to what does not serve you. And most of the time, what we need to learn is how to get rid of codependency, how to stop defining our worth based on someone else, how to stop giving when you're not receiving. And yeah, they'll come back like a moth to a flame. Yeah, they'll still want that attention. But don't mirror that person because that's you lower your standards. Instead, do not be fearful of feeling the uncomfortability of the anxiety, of the codependency, of the fear of loss, jealousy, or fear of this person cheating on you, because when these thoughts come up, they just want to be cleared to help you recognize that you don't need to hold on to this. Because sometimes we all take baggage from our past into a new relationship because we're not fully healed, but we can heal. But in order to heal, we have to become aware of what we're not aware of in order to change it. So don't ever be fearful of getting uncomfortable with facing that resistance of when things happen like this, because it's only the universe preparing you for better and for a better person. So this is why I always tell myself, no matter what happens in a relationship, and if it doesn't work out, the next will always be better, because I'm always going to get better. And therefore I know that what the work I do on myself, I deserve that person's willing to do the same. And you should be excited, because the more aware you become of the patterns, the more you can release them. And therefore, I'm not saying healing is going to stop, but I am saying you'll be able to meet someone who is emotionally open like you, who is vulnerable, who will do the inner work, who will want a divine connection to bring them to the best version of themselves, to reach that high level potential for their life and why they're here and why you are here. So I share all this with you to not get discouraged of being a reflector, to not get discouraged by these karmic relationships. Yeah, most of you guys might be unhappy because what if this person bounces, leaves, and goes to you, ends up with someone else, and you're like, damn, I wasted all my time, all my knowledge, all my wisdom on this person. Now they're taking those lessons into a new relationship. I'm over here by myself. Here's the thing. I think the most sexiest thing is someone who can take all that pain and disappointment and transform it into wisdom to the point that they're not seeking another person. Because if anything, you should pray for people like that. because they're only going to play out their karma with another person and feel sorry for that next person, sadly to say. So don't ever get discouraged, because you can use this pain. Like, I've been listening to Seven Rings lately, like Ariana Grande says. I love the way she says. She says, I should be a sad bitch, but I turn into a savage. Take all that pain and become a motherfucking savage. But not in a way where you're reckless and close off your heart, because your heart is the reason why you got here. Your innocence, your vulnerability, your love. People who don't know how to handle your love are jealous that you have that capability to love, because they wish they can too. They're just too scared to do the work. So be thankful for your heart. Be thankful for the heartbreaks, because they're only making your heart bigger to allow deeper love for thyself. And therefore that will be so radiant, so magnetic, that it will attract to you the love that you know you're meant to have in this physical plane. So you guys, as I share all this with you, whatever is happening in relationships right now, whatever is happening within you, face that resistance, face that fear, face the fear of loss, face it all. Face those limiting beliefs, like this person's cheating on me, or I can't trust people, or like, what are they doing? Why are they not hitting me up? Face all that, because when you can clear that out and understand what's really behind it, there will never be an enemy on the outside, because there's not an enemy within. So you have nothing to fear, but everything to be excited for, because it's only an opportunity for something better. And who knows, that person you're with might shift, might change, and it might shock you. But the real reason I'm sharing this with you is to remain focused on thyself, but not in a selfish way, but in a way where you are the empress. And this is not just for women. This is for men too. We have feminine and masculine energy. The empress energy doesn't need anything or anyone. So therefore, when you know who the fuck you is and what you bring to the table, you know damn well you can sit back and just allow yourself to receive. And let the fools be the fools. And let the real ones come to you. So as I share all this with you, please don't get discouraged when it comes to love. Because every time when you're teaching people how to love themselves, and they might take those lessons, but they really don't know how to be you and do you to receive you, you learn how to love yourself on a deeper level. And there's nothing more amazing than loving yourself deeper than you did before. Because that inner healing is only teaching you that there's the love outside of you is not what you need. The love that you desire is within you, because you are the one. You are the love that you're seeking. And the ways that I've been able to do this is, shadow work, but feeling the uncomfortability. Like, for example, I realize I attract people who are jealous of me when it comes into relationships. Like this powerhouse, like power struggle kind of, or one wants to be more controlling, or one is like gaslighting, and I'm just like, oh man, like the way that I've been able to be aware of this is like, how am I like that? Because you attract what you are. And sometimes what we're familiar with, look at the word familiar, family, it's because we're familiar of what we grew up with. So that gives you the opportunity to shift. And the more you change, you'll start to recognize maybe that person might change with you, and maybe they might leave your life, but keep your heart open regardless. Because the more you could keep your heart open, the more you can forgive. And this whole game is about forgiveness. When you have the power to forgive, you have the power to receive and love. And those people, they'll stay lost, they'll stay closed off and disappointed, because they're not willing to see that it's not that you were the real love. It's just that they're not willing to recognize the love within themselves. That's why they're scared of it, because they're really scared of themselves. So as a light being, since you're not fearful of yourself, that's why you are the love that everyone so seeks. So the way to have a hard time, stop having a hard time in love, is don't get attached. Don't define yourself by one person. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. But trust. Other than that, you guys, that's all I wanted to share with you. Until then, I'll see you in the next one. Only love.